Good afternoon, my fellow comic book lovers and my 23 amazing subscribers. Want to give a shout out to my newest subscriber, Kaylee Gonzalez, a very lovely young woman that I worked with that loves comics. Wore these really cool Vans with all these comic book heroes and stuff on them. Very cool chick. Glad she's a subscriber. Told her I'd give her a shout out. Now, I have two comics. I didn't worry about doing the live unboxing because the packaging looked great. These are two comics from 1956. Now, I'll show one of them, just so you can look at a comic while I'm talking, so people are like, what is this about? I thought this was a comic channel. Now, these two that I'm showing both were released in 1956. Part of the reason I love comics, beyond the artwork, the stories, the amazing characters, I love the history of comics. I love the fact that 64 years ago, some kid laid his 10 cents down on the soda shop counter. It was like, War Comics, number 44. I need this. I want to read this. Now, granted, 1956 was only 3 years after the Korean War, so it was probably sort of topical at the time. Who knows? Maybe his dad was in the Korean War. Maybe his older brother was in the Korean War. So he's like, yeah, man, War Comics, I want to relate. Like, 1956, like, in February, that was when Elvis first entered the music charts for the first time with Heartbreak Hotel, and later on that year appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show in September. Norma Jean Mortensen changes her name to one we all know, Marilyn Monroe, so she became Marilyn Monroe legally. Later that year married Arthur Miller, the playwright of Death of a Salesman. In April of 1956 was the first practical videotape demonstrated in Chicago. For sports fans, I hear some dogs going crazy outside, so if we start hearing dogs, you'll know what's up. The heavyweight boxing champ Rocky Marciano retires, never having lost a single professional boxing match. In other sports news in 1956, pitcher Don Larson of the Yankees throws the only perfect game in World Series history. I believe it was Game 5. Fidel Castro lands in Cuba. In September, the Bell X-2 was the first manned aircraft to hit Mach 3. And I felt this was somewhat topical. I'll let you guys connect the dots. In 1956, the Asian flu pandemic begins that originates in China. Later, tolls by the World Health Organization put the worldwide death total, at over 2 billion people. Don't know how that could be relatable. So, that's a little bit of history when these comics came out. Now, this is certainly not a cherry copy. There's lots of creases. Once again, it's 64 years old. It doesn't surprise me. I paid $15 for this, free shipping. Once again, like at this part of the Kraken's lair, you can see I kind of like some 50s style. There's some James Dean, some memorabilia. The jukebox is actually behind me. I won't bore you guys with that. This guy, I want to make sure I give him credit. It's Ogre Spring Maker. That's all one word. OGRESPRINGMAKER. Ogre's Spring Maker. $15 free shipping. He included a little note on the back here. I don't think he'd mind if I showed this. He's like, stay safe and enjoy. Thanks for the deal. They're the ones that he picked up along the way, or they belong to his father. I thought the personal touch was very pleasant. So wanted to give him and his eBay store a shout out. He does have other comics for sale. Once again, I know for a lot of collectors, something in this condition is something they wouldn't accept. You know, it's all got to be a 9, a 9.2. A gentleman whose channel I love, We Love Comics, Chris, who always says, like, low condition's better than no condition. I didn't even feel compelled to search for a higher grade condition of this. I was like, Atlas Comics, 1956, War, even with the color breaking creases, just such a very cool, dynamic cover. I wanted to pull the trigger on this, add this to my collection. I do like some random comics. Anybody that watches my channel, as much as I collect key issues and love the superheroes, stuff like this, you know, I want to keep it safe. I want to protect it for the next generation of comic book collectors, where there might be someone else who's like, yeah, dude, War, number 44. I want to check this out. The second one I purchased, this is Marvel Tales number 152. I hate these kind of bags. They're really super creakly. I'm going to change this out. I'm not even going to bother pulling these out live. Once again, the condition on both of these is somewhere 2.5, maybe a 3. I thought this was kind of a cool, you know, when the bubble bursts. Wonder what that's about. Atlas Comics, 1956. If you can see that, it's a 10-cent issue. So once again, some kid was at the soda shop or wherever they sold comics in 1956. I don't think they had comic book shops then. And he was like, dude, Marvel Tales. I wish my phone would focus, but it's sort of struggling in the light of the neon sign. And he was like, what's this? What's this to say? The Menace of the Mole Men. And he was like, dude, The Menace of the Mole Men, 10 cents. Like, here's my lawn mowing money, buddy. I've got to read this. I'm sure if I look inside, there's probably some very early artists that we know and love. Some possibly Kirby. Doesn't look like Ditko. But a really cool, very dynamic cover. I love the background with the sort of muted oranges that fades to like the ochre color. This one was a little bit more expensive. I've got to find my notes. I made a deal with the guy. I want to say he wanted 40 or 45. We settled on like 33 plus the $7 shipping, which would put you at 40. So yeah, it's probably like 45, maybe 50. I also got dinged for $3.26 tax. This is a new thing. I live in the state of Georgia. You know, there was like, the South is going to rise again. I didn't know what they meant was like, going to rise your taxes. So now I have to make deals for comic books online just to cover Georgia getting its little chunk of change. I'm sure it has everything to do with the current situation where they're like, sales tax, we don't care where you bought it, we don't care if it's eBay, we want a little piece of it. So my total on this was $44.01. Once again, other people might not choose to collect something like this. It's got, you know, rough edges, not really color breaking major creases across the cover. You know, like I said, it's a 2.5, 3 at best, but the staples are attached. It's completely readable, and it's a piece of history. So there you go, people. Don't know if anybody's ever shown these on a comic book channel. See, I'm not in my normal spot, so I'm struggling with my technology here. But I thought 1956, I thought the diner made a little bit more sense to do these. There's many layers to the Kraken's lair. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. That's Marvel Tales number 152, 1956, Atlas Comics. There's War number 44, same year, 1956, Atlas Comics. This is the Kraken's Lair. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know if you like it, let me know how much I suck. And I do have a plan to do a video tomorrow on a bunch of my early Iron Man Tales of Suspense, which might be more accessible to some viewers. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe. Have a great day. Peace out.